Okay, my video for today is kind of a correction of some of the things in my video yesterday on Soar and Score, and that's my app that could convert a MIDI part that was recorded with no click track, just rubato, and it senses the beats and produces a readable, not perfect, but a readable score. So let me demonstrate this with things working a little better, I think. So this time, so I'm going to play. Here's the improv I made a long time ago. And oh, by the way, just to get plugged to the sound paint. I'm using their strings adastri, I can't pronounce it, chamber full legato for violins, and here is the let me show that, show the they're really nice Fender Rhodes. I'm using the one of their sounds there, and here is the right and left hand parts. I turned them off because I'm just playing this, but you can see, let me go here. Here's the right hand part, there's the left hand part. So so it took this and separated it using its logic that I taught it to use it. It's kind of a combination. Some of it I told it what to do and then it implemented it. Others, I just said go make it work, and it figured out how to do it on its own. So I'll kind of walk through that. And there is here, these two tracks is where it took my MIDI notes and moved them to be more, it's called smart quantization. It doesn't quantify the whole track. It looks at a note by note basis and figures out whether to quantify it or not. That's for the score. I'm not going to play that because it becomes, I want the expressiveness of what I recorded. And then down here it has what I call a smart click track. Let me just turn that on and just play that. It's just kind of boring. It's just 4 notes played over and over again. Let me play that. Hit 6 and start. Why is it not playing? Maybe it's because I didn't have an instrument for it. Oh, that's the left hand. Anyway. Right hand. Okay, I didn't check that out, but never mind that. There's always something that goes wrong in my video. So let me see if I could play this. I go to score. Let me go back here and stop this. I forgot to mention, up here, it produces this, it named it voice navigation, where it lists the chord numbers. And I wanted to paint these, also put some here, the beats here as markers. And I wanted to color them red, but it can't do that. Which is, so here's I'm talking to you, Trolls, is that his name? Your sound painting is excellent, but it would be better if all the controls could be accessed through the MIDI, so that I could have things like AI set them for me. So I don't have to set them; it sets them. But it came back and said it has no way of setting these. So that's, and the point is, you know, there's let me get my little soapbox here for a second. There's a lot of angst in the electronic music world, like sound libraries, thinking like things like Suno are going to run them out of business or take a lot of their market share, and that's a reasonable fear they have. But what I'm looking at here is that you could also make AI work for you by making it a lot easier to interface with legacy products. Like Synth 5 does voices, but you put the program in for each point, each word, and how to sing each word is real tedious. Instead, I had Claude Sonnet 4.6 do it for me because it had access. It could create a file and download it. So and see and how's this different from Suno? Suno is just taking body parts of music that's already been created by some human, and it trains on all that data and just rearranges the body parts and creates something that sounds really good, but it's not original. It's just bits and pieces taken from what's already been done and put together in a different way. Shuffling the dots. Here, you could do things that are totally unique and original. Like I just recorded on my keyboard this improv, which it's a one of a kind. It hasn't been trained. Suno can never produce this. It's possible to produce it because it wasn't trained on it. So this is a whole different can of worms here, a whole different ball game, where the AI is working with the human to produce things like the score and like the little voice track. And I need that because I can't make the score scroll along with it, so I could hear the voice navigation. It'll say 1, 2, and I moved it a little bit ahead of the beat. I could move it right on the beat, but I'm going to move it a little bit ahead of the beat. Let me go back to here, a little bit ahead of it. So now with that, and you can adjust the volume. You can turn off the volume over here or make the volume louder. So I'm just going to put it about here. That sounds about right. So now let me play this again. Here's the score.
1, 2, 3,
4.
5, 6, 7, 8.
You see the bar lines here? They look pretty good. They're not perfect. But let me go back here and stop this. Here would be the bar lines. Let me go here and beats. You can see these beats. Let's see. Can I expand this? I don't know how to expand this. So here's how I'll do this. Well, at any rate, yeah, you can see here are the beat lines. Yeah, this is how to show it. Here are the beat lines that Claude came up with. Let me expand this a little bit more so you can see them a little better. There you go, a little bit more. And it has section marks too, rest. It's telling you where had to insert the rest too, because when you go to the music, when you play the notes, you don't need to put a rest there. It just won't play anything. But when you make the music, you have to actually add the rest as if it were a played note for the music, because the human wants to see that rest to know. So we kind of create rest as ghost notes. You put them insert them into the score. So the notation is to draw them, but you don't have them in the MIDI track. But I'm going to go back to here. But I don't have a MIDI track, but I did have them in the markers. So you can see where the rests are up in the markers, and you can see the beat lines are. And they don't match up with here because I didn't have a click track running, so it doesn't know what beat I was running at and what tempo, and I'm going all over the place in tempos. So with that, and the other thing, let me go to here. This is a hybrid view. It has the notations here, but it also has the piano roll notes. And these are the uncorrected piano notes, just as I played them. So you could see, so there's some, you could test it here, and I was like, I don't know why there's not one here for this, what is that, an E? E, this is treble clef, the C. Once again, I haven't debugged this. it's probably got bugs in it. But the other thing is, like I uploaded in my previous video, had the links as a skill. So if you run the skill, you could write a chat to fix it. Let me give you an example of what that looks like. Oh, and here's, see down here it says you've hit your extra spending limit, blah, blah, blah. The one downside of here is this thing burns tokens like crazy, so I hit my limits really fast. But it does a good job. So here, I'm just showing you how this works. Let's see. Where was that? Oh yeah, so here's what, so it was doing the chords right, and I wanted to add red bar. So I just said, I didn't want you to just add the words red bar, which it did, to the marker, but actually change the red bar. So, and it came back and says, sorry, I can't do that. It researched it. See, it was putting the red bar, just the word red in it. So it's told me it can't do that, but it did fix other things. So my point is, this is not like programming. This is the new world of AI. If you downloaded my what do they call it, skill, and run it and put your own MIDI track in, and you don't like what it's doing, you could just talk to it, and say, oh, I don't like this, do this, do that, and it should respond. It should be able to do that. Now, I haven't tested that other than here, but and that's the other thing. I haven't done a lot of testing here. I'm not, like I said, other video, I'm not trying to produce a product that works and you can spend money on. I'm just producing something I can use for myself and share it, because once I make all the trouble doing it for myself, why not share it? So other people can benefit from it. And once again, it's just, this is too cool and too big for one person. So I'm hoping somebody will pick this up and run with it. And build cool stuff with it. So I could use the stuff that they use. So hopefully this could spawn and there's probably already a community there. So this is part of this communal effort. What do you call it? Cloud producing products on the cloud. I forgot what the buzzword was. So it researches, it says, got it. So Mixcraft markers, color sets manually. So it asked me how I was doing it. So we have this little chat. So that's how you build the software. You don't tell it on this line of code, change this. You just say, let's make this spacing a little more bigger, and I might upload an image to it. Like here's the image uploaded. I show them, see, I've colored this manually red and uploaded the image. So it looked at it and said, oh yeah, I see what you're doing. These are red and those are red. Then it researched and said, and it asked, did you do that manually through the GUI? I said, yeah. And it says, that's what I thought, because I can't do that. I have to, through the MIDI. There's no way in the MIDI to do this. So once again, Sound Paint, or you could build your voice sound libraries, excellent sound libraries, to be AI compatible, where the AI could go in and, so say you have like you have pizzicato violins and you have arco and swells and all this. You can make all that settable through the MIDI, and then publish how to do it, and then the cloud could read what you publish. And so all I could just say is, I want pizzicato violins here and I want legato here, and it could set all the stuff in the MIDI. I don't have to mess with it. So that's the thing. That's the brave new world. So don't worry about Suno. Instead, focus on using chatbots that now have agentic capability that could do this kind of stuff. 6 months ago, this wouldn't work, but around Christmas time, this new wave of chatbots came out that has this agentic ability. So you could do this. So this is the wave of the future, and I'm sort of the theoretist, experimenter, mad scientist, just trying to figure out how to make it work, not a product developer. I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to make music, not money. So I'm retired. So those days are gone. When you're making money, it means you're working for somebody else. I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to work for me and do what I want. So somebody else could go make the money on this. That's fine. My thought is, if you want my blessing, make sure this works well with the rubato and the spirit of this. The soar. Let the composer soar and just play. No click tracks. I mean, you can work with a click track if you want to, but make sure it works good without a click track. So you could soar, play the music just without a click. Mozart didn't play to a click track, and Beethoven. And so you shouldn't either. When you're making music, you should just play what you want, and then you'll convert it. So enough of me. I'll get off my soapbox here and get back to the music. So let's play this again from the beginning, and I'll just comment through the music. And I'll turn this down a little bit and play the music. And it set the key for me. It figured out it was D minor. And it put the part markers in. I didn't put those in. I didn't tell it where to put it. It sensed those. And once again, I haven't checked all this to see if it did a good job or not. I just wanted to get it to sort of work. And that's good enough for me. I can always adjust it. And say, no, move part H to measure 62. And it'll do that. Where are we? 55?
57, 58, 59.
See, I kind of like this better than auto scroll because I can move around and look at things and then go find out where the music is.
63.
Like 63, okay, where are we?
65.
Okay, we're at 65. But I can go up here and look and then come back down here. So that's better than auto scroll.
69. 70.
70?
71.
That was,
72.
now there's more music after this, but the reason it didn't record it, score, is I keyed it off the, let me just stop it here. Here's just the orchestra part. The Fender part ended here. Where did it end? Wait a minute. Oh, I wasn't even playing the Fender part. Let me turn that back on. I turned it off by accident. This, let me slow that. Yeah, you can hear that now. So let me turn that up a little bit more.
6.
So I was keying off the piano part. I didn't want to mess with the orchestra initially. See, but I could say, I want you to split out violins, violas, and cellos, first and second violins. It'd have to use a computer different algorithm, but it already kind of knows what I want. So you could do that. You could take my version that I made downloadable and say, okay, do what you did for the piano, now do it for the orchestra part. But instead of left and right hand, I want to have split out the first, second violins, the violas and the cellos and the double basses. And you can give it some rules, like you might double the cellos and double basses an octave apart. You could just give it whatever rules you want to give it through a chat instead of writing code. So you could see that it ended. We get to it. The vendor part ended here, so that's where the score. So it wasn't keying off here. It wasn't keying off the orchestra part. So this is not a general purpose solution I have now. There's all these edge cases that I'm not covering. This is just for I just wanted to do it for the piano part, keyboard part. It'd be different for the orchestra part. You have different rules. And the piano part, it also checks to see if it's playable. Now in this case, it didn't, because I played on the MIDI keyboard. So if I did it in one take, it's obviously playable. In fact, I'm not that good. You could probably add more notes and still make it playable. So that's why it ended where the music hasn't ended, because we have this other track up here. So given that, I want to show something else here, just some of the interim products it produced. Let's see here. Here's when it first did this, I thought it was a bug. And it's like, wow, these ledger lines. And what it was is like it didn't know how to, it was thinking the left hand is going to be in the bass clef, but like, no, I'm playing, left and right hand both up high. So it had to figure out how to put these, let me find one of those. Like here, treble clef, up, I think that's down an octave, up, I don't know which one it is, or which one it thinks it is. So you can see the process here. So we fixed that. So that wasn't a bug. It just didn't know to change the clef. So let's go back and see what else we had. So here's, let me show this here. Here is the left and right hand. So that's the right hand. There's the left hand part. So you can see how it split. Didn't just split it like a middle C. It intelligently split it. And you can see where I'm all over the place on the keyboard. Down here, up here. So now I talked about the graph. Like what the graph means. It's like here is the piano scroll. But then here are like the next nearest neighbor. Here's the graph. So here's this note. Its next nearest neighbor is this one. Apparently that one. That might be two notes here. And this one and that one. So so this goes. So it's figuring out. So that's what I mean by the graph. It's adding this graph on top of the, and then it's adding the rest in there. So I think, I'm not sure how they're doing it, but it could be, but you can see the process here. And so it lists all this stuff out, not as, if you ask it to. If you don't, you say, I don't want to see this, but you say, show me the edge graph, and it'll do that. So let's look here. There's the histogram of note lengths. It did. And so that is kind of an analysis of the music. And then I said it's kind of moderate tempo. And so given a moderate tempo, and I said it's mostly in 4/4 time. So I'm giving it some clues. I'm not telling it, here's this bar line, here's this bar line, this is a quarter note. I'm just giving it some clues saying it's in 4/4, moderate tempo, and so it did the histogram and kind of think, I think this is your quarter note from these histograms. And, if it was, I had a piece of just all 16th notes, I would tell it that. It's mostly 16th notes. So it'd say, okay, I think these are 16th notes. So given that, I can figure out what a quarter note would be. So It's this partnership you're entering with the AI. It's not like, so you chat back and forth until you get what you want. So that's a whole different paradigm. Let's just see what this is. Yes, here's where, before we fix that problem. Here, it doesn't have the hybrid display yet. It didn't have the chords yet, so you can kind of see the history here. And here we have the hybrid display, which I really like as a composer. So, and here's the chat, and it's really long. This is just one chat. Actually, I had 3 chats to get here because I keep hitting this limit, and finally I hit this limit. It says no more. This is dead. So let me go to my chats. So I have scroll and roll. I have converting MIDI to file. Psalm 88. So I started with this one, maxed this one out, then moved to this one, and kind of had it get up to speed. And then here, so AI generated scripts, contrasting phrases. Yeah, I think I started with this one, so I might be on my 4th chat. So context length is my biggest problem. You know, once I hit the limit, then I have to start a new chat. I have to get it kind of, but I have all these files to help do that. And plus the skill should help. I haven't used that much, but I'm learning how to do this. But the point is, I kind of think of this, I'm not a programmer, where I was a software engineer, classified that, but I never wrote a line of software code. I was working at this higher level. It wasn't just architecture, it was more like algorithmic level. It's like, how do we build a route planner that could generate a route for an airplane to fly around threats and things like that, or a resource manager that would queue the radar and things like that. It was more like PowerPoint engineering. And then from the PowerPoint engineering, the software engineers would actually convert it to code. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, the PowerPoint engineering, and letting the chatbot, letting Claude Opus do the software engineering part. And it's kind of a mix here. It didn't think of using the graph. I thought, I came up with this idea, let's just make everything like a piano roll, like MIDI. I kind of told you, we don't want to base it on MIDI, which works on beats, clock speeds. I mean, beats, what's the beat? 110 beats per minute. That's not the thing. We would just work on space, like a piano roll. You could play that piano roll faster or slower. It doesn't change the holes on that piano roll. That's the more stable, basic form to work on. So I had to tell it that, but it picked that up really quick. And then I had to tell it, why don't we try graphs or do a histogram? So I had to think of the idea. Let's try doing a histogram. But then it implemented it. It said, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And then went and implemented it and found so I didn't micromanage the implementation, but I had to kind of launch it in the right direction. And the reason I mention that is like AI isn't going to anytime soon replace humans. It's just going to redefine, it's going to clarify what the humans have to do, point the AI in the right direction. And when if you have dead ends, think, oh, that's not working, find a different direction to go and guide the AI. But the AI then does the implementation, all the details, and it's a partnership. On the other hand, I didn't tell it how to split the parts. I just said, go make that work. And it figured out how to do that. Now, I don't know if it did a good job. I haven't tested it. So I'm kind of rambling on here. But the reason I am is what I'm saying now is what AI does is it doesn't replace me. It wouldn't work without me. But it gives me what I call superpowers. By that, I mean I could do things that I could never even dream of doing. Even a few months ago, never mind a year ago. So it could give you guys, anybody that listens to this, those same superpowers. And if you produce products like sound libraries, you could build your sound library where it's AI controllable. So you have the data. And see, this is not training AI. it's not giving the AI a lot of data and saying, figure out how to write this music just from giving it the data. This is giving it the theory, the rules of this is what I want you to do, and then it uses the rules to produce the music. I mean, either way works. It has this, if you have tons of data, you can train it on the data, but the AI really doesn't know why it's doing it. It's just trained itself on the data. Here, it actually knows why it's doing things, and you could change it quickly. You don't have to feed it tons of new data. You just say, "Oh, let's change this from 4/4 to 6/8 time," and boom, it'll say, "Okay," and it'll go run the 6/8 rules, which I haven't tried yet. And so it's a different paradigm, but it's a powerful one, and and the agentic part of it makes it possible. So I've been spending a lot of time working on this, and I'm trying to share it with others because I just think it's so cool. And I want to be able to buy a sound library that I say, chat, Claude, go download this, install it on my computer, and then use that for my song. I'm still doing this. I'm still buying your product and using your product. I'm just using it easy in a different way where I don't have to do all the work making it work. It does the work, but it's still using your product. You still get paid. I still have to buy it. So that's the new paradigm. It's not replacing you. It's making you easier to use. And then you could probably figure out clever things you could do with that you couldn't have done before because it was just too finicky for the user to mess with, especially like vocal music. You could have it say, roll that R. You could have a MIDI command that says, here's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the words. So you upload the words, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and then you would say, have a MIDI command that says roll the R's. And then in your sound library, you have the roll Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I can't say that very well. And it would roll, so when it generates the vocal track, the user didn't have to go in there and finicky set all those bits and key switches and all this. The AI did it for me, and I just had to tell it what to do. Or I could say, you figure out when to roll the R's. I don't want to mess with that. That's too low level. And I'll change it if I don't like it. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling on, but let me play a little more of the music at the end. And this is not for the average person. This is for somebody who's really into music generation and wants to be at the cutting edge, which I'm trying to be at the cutting edge here. And I think I sort of am. And on that note, I'm going to end this here. So you all have a good day. I probably don't need any more links here. They're all in the previous video.